All right, we're gonna explain a common problem with acoustic guitars where the input jack comes loose, and I'm gonna explain how to correct the problem. So this is the common issue, the input jack on an acoustic guitar, they come loose, and there's a little bit of a secret on how to tighten them. Now I'm going to show you the tools that you're going to need to do this job. You need a long Phillips screwdriver, which is a 1/4 inch, because the input jack is a 1/4 inch. Or you can use a 1/4 inch dowel, wooden dowel, maybe 1.5 feet long. You're going to need an adjustable wrench and a pair of pliers with tape on them, or this is a tooth puller which has smooth rounded inner parts, and then I have a pick or an Allen key, something that will fit into this little hole there on the jack. All right, first thing you got to do is take off this nut. Usually they're finger tight. So you take it off. If you can't get it off by hand, then use a pair of pliers with tape on them to protect this, and just be very careful, you don't want to scratch your paint. So you take that off. Use the long screwdriver or your dowel, and you can undo the nut and the washer, and that stays on the screwdriver. You push that in, and then you can reach in and grab the jack. Now that is your adjustment, this nut here. So sometimes it takes a couple of times to adjust that to the right spot so that you can tighten the jack all the way up. So you reach in, put it back onto the screwdriver, and then you can pull this through. And you gotta have, that has to be in a little bit. If this little ledge there is sticking out, then it's too far out. You have to adjust the nut so that it goes in a little bit. So I'm gonna adjust this in a little bit. So I'm gonna run this back just a hair. And then that should be closer to where I want to be. Okay, so now that is recessed a little bit more. Put your nut on. Tighten it up by hand. You can pull that out. Then you take your Allen key and you take your adjustable wrench, and then you can tighten this up. You should be able to get this very tight. Don't use pliers to do this, because if they slip off, you'll scratch the paint. So a wrench is better, because it'll get on that nut real positively. Okay, so that's really tight now, and that looks like it's right where I want it to be. Put your strap button back on. Now, the outer part of the jack should be flush or out just a hair. It's kind of perfect right where it is right now. And then to tighten it up, you can use the pliers with a little tape, and don't squeeze real hard because you don't want to scratch this. Just give that a little turn, and now it's tight. Sometimes I use these tooth pullers which are rounded, and you can grab that really solidly and tighten that, and that won't make any marks. That's it.